What's up, YouTube? It's your boy South Korea from Team Second to None, coming to you with a requested deck profile for Regalia Genesis. Right. I'm gonna start with my starter. My starter is a grade 0 named Vivid Rabbit. Now what it does is act ability, Counter Blast 1, put them into your soul, look at your top 5, grab a grade 3, add it to your hand. Pretty self-explanatory. Now the reason why I run this is because, you know, in the current meta, there's stuff that likes to tuck or blow up, or usually there's some way to get rid of a starter early with what people's decks likes to play. I'm gonna go with my strides. Now I run 1 copy of Sacred Flame Ultimate Regalia Demeter. Now what she does is Counter Blast 1 when you attack, Counter Blast 1, Soul Charge 3, then you counter charge for every card in your heart that has Regalia. So if you have a Legion, you counter charge 2. If you have 1, you know, you just counter charge 1. Now you have to run this for another stride I will go over in a little bit later. I run 2 copies of Great Angel Doombrace, which has an act ability once per turn. Soul Blast 3. Soul Blast 3, choose 2 of your units, give it +5. 2 of your rear guard units, give it +5. And then if your number of cards in your soul is 2 or less, you soul charge 3. I run a playset of Uther, or Earth. I think her name's Earth. Prehistoric Regalia Earth. Now she's good. Well, when you stride with her, you counter blast 1, you flip a copy of Earth, and you soul charge all the Regalia cards in your graveyard into your soul. And if you already had a card with Regalia in your G zone, you know, 2 or more cards Regalia in your G zone, then she gets the act ability of Soul Blast 6, gives her +10k, +1 crit. Now this is a card I like to ask my opponent if they have a perfect shield, because if they don't, they just lose, because by the time you get all those cards in your grave and activate her ability, she's going to be swinging for 5 crit, possibly at like 110k power or more. It could be great. Now the theoretical maximum would be 306. Run a playset of Vanguard, which has the ability of when you attack, you Soul Blast 6 and wait till after your opponent guards. Then you look at the top 4, rearrange them any way you want. You could put some cards at the bottom, you keep some cards on top, or if you just don't like all of them, you just put them all at the bottom. And then you could complete your drive check. Now he's just good for like pressure game. If you know your opponent has a perfect shield, you could just, okay, I'm gonna strive into Garner, kind of force them to drop it by soul blasting, you know, certain cards that gives you on hit retire, or just rearrange the top 4, try to get crit triggers on there and punish your opponent. I run 2 copies of Sky Dome Battle Maiden Hanasatsuki. Now what she does, when you guard with her, you may choose a unit on your field, and you look through your soul. If you have a copy of that unit on the field as the same one in your soul, then she gets extra +10k shield. I run 3 copies of Goddess of 7 Colors Iris. She's really good in Regalia. She's pretty much a staple. I would run 4, but sometimes you get backed against the wall and you have to use Hanasatsuki. So what she does, when you call her out there, you may soul charge up to 3. If you do soul charge 3, she gets +5. Not per. God, I wish it was per. But she gets +5k shield. So it's a really good staple G guard for all Genesis decks. Now grade 3s. My main grade 3 is Regalia of the Present Age for Thandi. I run a playset, so 4 copies. Now she's really good if you're going first turn, or if you go second and you can't stride, I'm sorry, but she has a really good act ability. Once per turn, you Soul Blast 3 Regalia cards, and she gives the front row on hit, look at the top 2 cards, pick one, add it to your hand, put the other one in your soul. So she also, you know, it combos with her drive checks or whatever other cards you soul blasted that gives her extra abilities. It's a really good like pressure card because it gives your front row the entire thing, and then you can hit stand triggers and then just keep spamming the ability. It's a really good sneaky card. I really like her a lot. I run 4 copies of Yggdrasil because, well, you kind of have to at the rate that you're pretty much decking yourself out. Yeah, your Legion, everybody knows Legion ability. Pick 4 cards from your drop zone, add it, put it back in your deck, search for her mate, which is Regalia of the Fate Norn, and you Legion with her. Now, she has an attack ability of Soul Blast 6. When you attack, she gets extra crit, and your opponent can't garner grade 1s or higher from their hand. And, of course, if there's another unit same column as her, she gets +3. Now, my grade 2s, of course, the Legion mate Norn. Run a playset, you have to. So when she's soul blasted, you choose your Vanguard with Regalia in its name, and you give it +5. Run a playset of Chimera, which you also have to.
Thank you.
Shut up. So when you place her ability is when you place her on the rear guard, you choose up to 3 cards with Regalia in your drop zone and put it into your soul. I run a playset of Twilight Regalia Hesperus. She is really good. She is going to be your pretty much main pressure card for first stride and pretty much your first grade 3 run. So when she's soul blasted, you give your Vanguard the on hit ability. If you hit, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And this ability stacks. So when you soul blast 3, you get 3 of the ability. So you blow up 3 of your opponents. You soul blast 2, you blow up 2. And you soul blast 1, and you blow up 1. Now my grade 1 setup is really weird, but it honestly works for me. I run 3 Shiny Angels, which has the same ability of Chimera, which you place her on rear guard, and you choose up to 3 Regalia and drop zone, and you soul charge them up to 3 Regalia. Oh god. I run 2 Schooled, which if you soul blast 3 cards, if you have a Vanguard or Regalia, if you soul blast 3 cards that turn, you choose 3 normal units with Regalia in your drop zone. You put in the bottom of your deck in any order, then you draw a card and soul charge 1. So she's a pretty good engine. I run 3 copies of Purification Regalia Pure Angel, which when she's placed, you count +1. Choose your Vanguard with Regalia in his name, and it gets +5. And the on-hit ability is Soul Blast 3, draw a card. I run 1 Stride Fodder. That is it. I don't really stride it often. On top of that, I have Schooled running the engine, and I pretty much get my grade 3s whenever I need them. So that's why I only run 1. I run 2 Perfect Shields, which is Witch of Strawberries Framboge. I think that's Framboge. And then I run the piece of resistance, Scarlet Elsie. Now she has a Vanguard only ability of Revelation, so if you have the unfortunate time to ride her first turn, then you Revelation and see if you get a good card and soul charge it. But what she really shines at is when you guard with her, you can soul charge as many cards as you want. And then that many cards that soul blast as many cards as you want. And then as many cards you soul blast, you flip that many cards from top of your deck into your guard circle, and it's a super quintet wall. They all guard at the same time. Now I'm gonna go over my triggers, and then I'll start going over some good techniques in this deck. I run 4 heal triggers. Who doesn't? Self-explanatory. 2 Dreaming Dragons. In case I don't get any of Schooled, we have Dreaming Dragons to fall back on. So it has the ability, you can put on top of your deck and shuffle your graveyard into your deck. And if you shuffle 10 or more, then you draw a card. I run 4 Achilles. Now this has the same ability as Norn. When it's soul blasted, if you have Vanguard or Regalia, you choose your Vanguard or Regalia to give it +5. run 2 copies of Kukuri Hime, I think that's her name. So she has the ability of, if soul charge, choose a unit, give it +3. And 4 Regalia crit triggers, generic Regalia crit triggers. I'm gonna start going over the setups for Regalia Genesis Regalia. So this is basically if you're going first, you know, usually going first means you don't stride first. So I already attacked and whatever, so now it's my opponent's turn to attack me. This is like one of the few decks that actually rewards you for attacking, I should dare say. So your opponent will swing with a grade 2 line boosted, you know, with their Vanguards. You'll be like, okay, guard a 10k shield, guard with a grade 2. Bam, no problem. So now it's your turn. You don't need any counter blast for this because you already used it for Vivid Rabbit. You draw, no problem. You ride Verthandi. Then you call Hemera skill. You soul charge Regalia Achilles and Regalia Hesperus. You call, let's see, another Hesperus. You call a booster. You activate Verthandi skill. Soul Blast Achilles, Hesperus, and Norn. Now, the Achilles and Hesperus will give my Vanguard plus 5k each, so she's now at 21 by herself. And she has the on-hit skill of if I hit, I retire something on their side of the field. And my whole front row has on-hit, look at the top 2, get a card added to my hand, put another card in my soul, put the other card in my soul. And then if you just so happen to have a Shiny Angel in your hand, you soul charge the cards you just used the cost. So in case if you don't get any strides next turn, you just do it again and force your opponent to guard. So let's attack with this. They probably will drop a 10k shield. You attack with 21 and then like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Let it hit, whatever. First check, they're probably at 2 damage already. I'm gonna just go with that. Second check, you hit, retire one of their rear guards. You look at the top 2 and you're like, okay, I need this in my hand so I can stride. I'm gonna soul charge this, that way when I soul blast it, I can hit my opponent. And then you swing with this. And you could put the trigger power anywhere, it doesn't matter. They gotta figure out if they want to guard. They're at grade 2, they can't G guard, so they might take that. Let's just say they take that. You look at top 2, like, ooh, we're gonna keep this in hand for guard purposes, and we'll soul charge this. So now you drove check 2, you scried for one, you scried for the other one, and then you drew a card for turn. So you're at 5 cards on your grade 3 turn, so it's really good if you're not striding first turn. Now your first stride is very important for Regalia because it's you need a stride Demeter first turn, so that way it'll kick off Uther's ability to get that extra crit in game. So you stride Demeter because you have to. Now I know Demeter has a lackluster skill because all she does is soul charge 3 when you attack, but the card that makes her great is when you play Shining Angel. Now Shining Angel, you counter blast 1. Give your Vanguard +1 on hit ability, Soul Blast 3 and draw a card. And mind you that Verthandi is a Regalia specific on stride skill. So when you stride with Regalia Demeter, if you soul charge cards, you give your front row plus 1,000 per how many cards you soul charge. So you're gonna swing with Demeter first. You counter blast 1, you soul charge 3. And then what your opponent is worried about, oh, and then you counter charge 1. Doesn't matter. What your opponent is worried about is you soul blasting Hesperus. But luckily, you do not have that skill. All you have is the on-hit soul blast 3 draw card. So your opponent will most likely say no guard because like, oh, you already did her skill. There's nothing more. All you're gonna do is draw a card. So you drive check your 3, you hit it. And mind you, since you already soul charge 3, this got +3, this got +3, this got +3. So these are 19 lines by themselves, your rear guard columns. And then now you pay for Pure Angel skill, which you Soul Blast 3, the Asperus, and a Heal Trigger. So now you draw a card. And then, since you Soul Blasted 2 Asperus, their abilities proc, because this all happens during the on-hit step of the damage phase. On the damage step. So, like, your opponent will say, Hey, I thought she didn't have the skill. She didn't. You're telling the truth. She did not have that skill. She only gained the skill when she soul blasted. So now you just blow up 2 of the rear guards, and you played according to tournament rules because you did tell them the truth. So it's a good sneaky way to make her way better than what she already is. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you what happens during your defensive turn. There's not a lot of decks out there that has a really good defensive turn to make your Vanguard super strong. So this deck has a really good pairing against D-Police. I actually played against a couple of D-Police at ARG, and I tell you something, it could go toe-to-toe. It really, really can. You don't have to worry about Crayon crits or Crayon win out of nowhere, you know, because you're going to be guarding for so much with like one card that you're just not going to care anymore. So on your defensive turn, let's say your opponent is D-Police and they swing with, what's the highest swinger? What do they have?
They got Break Rod, Die Kaiser with Dayusha, Legion.
And they swing on average like 41 or 51, probably way higher, right?
Roughly, because, yeah.
Well, the point is, and like with that, and they retire for every grade 3. So what you do with her is you play Secret Release, activate her skill, you Soul Blast. You're going to try to Soul Blast all the Regalia cards in your soul. So we're going to Soul Blast Verthandi. We're going to Soul Blast Achilles. All the Achilles in here. So we got 4 Achilles and we got 4 Norns. This is just for explaining purposes. Usually I will have 6, but this is for, you know, just showing you guys. So you Soul Blast Verthandi. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you Soul Blasted 9 cards. Then you guard with the top 9 cards of your deck. So we got 10k guard, Perk Shield. You could pay for that if you want. Another 10k guard, another 10k guard, another 10k guard, another 10k guard, some 5k guards, and yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 65 total guard in the guard circle, and you may or may not pay for the P shield, but what really counts is when you soul blasted these. This counts for any turn. So since you soul blasted Norn and Achilles, she gets +5 per Norn and or Achilles that's soul blasted. So you got +5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. She got +40, and that will stay till the end of turn. So she is a 51k base by herself. So like if your opponent's Die Kaiser or whatever swinging for 51, like, oh, you just matched that plus on top of 65k guard that they're not gonna go through even if they drive check right there. You're like, ooh, tasty, just take it. And then after that, because they can't hit your Vanguard, like, well, that turns over. You stand up, everybody, and since you strode Demeter, you Soul Blast. I mean, not Soul Blast. You pay for Stride. You Stride the one and only win con, Uther. Pay 1 counter blast.
Nigga, do you need dice?
Nah, I'ma just show them.
You sure? You sure don't need no dice? Put them dice on there.
Okay. You Soul Blast the Uther. This is gonna be a while. It's a lot of math. This card actually swings a lot higher than a lot of clans. So you Soul Charge all the Regalia. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So now the front row gets +23 because you strode a Regalia specific stride on top of this skill. So +23 to the front row, and she gets the extra skill, actability, Soul Blast 1. She gets extra +10k and +1 crit. So 23, I believe I said. 23. So yes, what is this? 18, 23, and I'm gonna just put 23 for my rear guards. This is my rear guard line, my front row. Just leave it. Just know that both of these have 23. My Vanguard has +23, and I didn't draw for turn, so whatever. Activate Verthandi skill. You're gonna Soul Blast 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She gets double on hit retire. She gets extra +10k, +1 crit. My crit count will be those yellow die. So my crit count's at 2 right now. Soul activate her skill again. It is not a once per turn ability. We're gonna Soul Blast these Norns and the Achilles. So she gets an extra plus 10k, plus 1 crit. And not to mention the plus 5s from each of these that were Soul Blasted. So crit counts at 3, and she gets extra 10, 20, 30. Oh god. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then you're going to do it again because you're a spiteful person. So you get extra plus 10k on top of the 10k and plus 1 crit. So she's at 4 crit. Plus 20 total. And do I have enough to... Yes, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 6. Yeah, it is 6. Crit counts at 5. And she gets extra plus 10k. Let's see if I have any cards that are worth it in my hand. Sort of, not really. Nah, not really. So, now you gotta... Let's see. 10, 20, 30... 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80 plus 25, 10, wait, not 20, 23, 1003. You got a 1003 card. Oh, that's just the bonuses. I didn't count the power between, you know, the stock power. Yeah, extra plus 10-3. 10-3 plus 26 is 129 plus 7. 136? 136. I think it's 136. Yeah. So you got 136 line that your opponent can't, I'm pretty sure he can't guard unless he has a perfect shield. Swinging for 5 crit. So this is, usually when you stride this, it's polite to ask your opponent if he has a perfect shield. I mean, regardless, you're going to do her skill anyway. Because if they don't have a perfect shield, they just lose unless they damage check 6 heal triggers, which is not possible. Unless they have, well, I can't say it's not possible, but most of these clans are coming out with bullcrap abilities and stuff like that. So you're swinging for 36k, well, 136k with 5 crit. Who knows what I drive check? Oh, there's another secret lead. That's even better. Bam, nothing. Not that it matters because she is the trigger. And then you got, what is this, 23 plus 9 is 32, 32 plus 7. You got 39k lines by themselves just because you strode Uther. And then because you have 2 skulls in the field, don't worry about decking out. Just go through your deck, get 3 Regalia. I'm going to just put these in the action. I'm going to show you. You get 3 Regalia. Bam. They have to be normal Regalia units. Bam. Who cares? I messed up that power. She was strong anyways. Bam. Soul charge 1. Draw 1. Soul charge 1. Draw 1. Then you have your deck back. And you can take 2 more damage. And just do it all over again. This is just the first Uther strike. I call it the first revelation, and then the second one is the second coming, because you know there's a lot of light, a lot of piercing light in that that card. So that's pretty much all the bread and butter in Regalia. But like I said, if you know your opponent has a perfect shield, don't be afraid to stride Vanna Gardner first and try to force them to make them drop cards or drop the perfect shield. Or if you're out of strides, but in case you have the unfortunate thing to Jesus, just throw away the Doom Brace. I rarely use these. But all in all, your win con is Uther. So that is Regalia. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my build. I personally think this is really good. I mean, despite the fact that everybody thinks, well, not everybody, my grade 1 lineup is rather weird. But all in all, it just works for me. This is South Korea from Team Second to None. Catch you guys later.